Wow, this is a beautiful, bright Monday morning. We are excited because we know that as a nation, we are moving forward, making progress in the right direction. A lot of challenges might still be confronting us, but we know that with the right sense of determination, we'll move forward, we'll conquer them, and definitely as a nation, we'll continue to advance. Right now, we will be talking about the different things that happened over the weekend, some news updates. But before we do that, let's just give you insight into what we'll be discussing this morning. We'll be talking about how much as a nation we need to contribute our own quota, then working towards promoting patriotism, and in achieving that, we are looking at the anti-corruption war, how much is being achieved, how much more needs to be done, and how everybody's contribution is needed. So we will be talking about the project we mentioned to you on Friday. That's a project 1 million voices, how we in Blossom Nigeria have decided to come up with this initiative because we see it as a means of bringing people together under one voice to talk against different societal vices, corruption, crime in different places, different things that are working against are moving in the right direction as a nation. So but before we do that, let's just give you some news updates. We have that the International Non-Government Organization of a Community, that's the INGO in Nigeria, has condemned the execution of 5 aid workers by Boko Haram, insisting that attacks on humanitarian workers is unacceptable. So the INGO in a statement has also described the attacks as a war crime, and the organization has asked for the unconditional and immediate release of others that are believed to be held by the terrorist group. Then this is what the government has been trying to work on, but for now 5 aid workers have so far been executed and they are still holding on to more. So they are asking for the immediate release of others, that's other aid workers that are believed to still be held by the Boko Haram terrorist organization. So we are saying that this is the right course for the government to move, to work with all the security apparatus to ensure that aid workers that are still held as captives in one form of terrorist group or the other, they should be released, and without we hearing more news of death of aid workers. Then President Muhammadu Buhari on Saturday in Abuja commended the contributions of Nigerians in diaspora to the socio-economic development of the country. He said this at the maiden virtual National Diaspora Day celebration with the theme Leverage the Diaspora Resources for National Development. So he said that over the past 3 years, Nigerians in diaspora had brought in over 25 billion as home remittances to the Nigerian economy, and this has been through formal and non-formal channels. The Nigerians in diaspora are also known to be engaged in skill transfer through their involvement in the ICT and different industrial projects. So the president has stated that it is a sincere hope that even with the depressed economy of the 2020 due to the coronavirus pandemic, Nigerians in diaspora will rise up to the occasion of not abandoning their country of origin. So this is a good one coming from those Nigerians in diaspora contributing positively to the growth and advancement of the economy. Then we also have the national leadership of Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, and the Gombe State chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA. They've applauded Governor Inuwa Yahaya of Gombe State for his strides in the health sector. They thanked him for signing into law the Hospitals Management Board and the contributory healthcare scheme, as well as his government drive in the health sector in general in the state. So that's a good one coming from the doctors who are commending the commending the Gombe State governor for the positive strides that he has contributed to the health sector. Then also we now had a kind of a disturbing report, which is not very good, that members of the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, they are also giving the government 3 weeks, that's the national government, 3 weeks ultimatum to meet their demands or face another strike action. So the national president of that's the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Sukomba Aliyu, gave the ultimatum at a news conference on Saturday in Abuja. So Aliyu told the federal government that the National Assembly is to investigate what was responsible for the non-enrollment of health care workers in the group life insurance scheme for medical workers. He also called for the probing of non-payment of death benefits to next of kin of their fallen colleagues, in spite of the claims of payment to insurance companies for this purpose. So we think the government should give a lot of emergency reaction to this, because we don't think this is the right time for the doctors to be calling for strike, even though there is no right time for them to call for strike or to embark on any form of strike. And with the ongoing COVID-19 rising cases, we've heard that as at now, cases of those who have been infected with the COVID-19 virus, there are over 40,000 in Nigeria right now, and more deaths that have been recorded. So we don't think the government should give room for any form of strike action. So the federal government should look into their demands and see to it that they contain and help to also meet up with whatever it is that they need at this point in time. Then, still on the Okene-Lokoja highway that we have noted has been recording a lot of attacks, maybe from bandits and different armed robbers. A report reached us that 3 kidnappers were killed in a gun battle, and two of their informants were arrested early Saturday morning along the Lokoja-Okene highway by a team of hunters, that's local security operatives and neighborhood watch from Okehi and Adavi local government areas of the state. The kidnappers, who were planning to stage an attack on innocent citizens that ply the Lokoja-Okene road, met their Waterloo when 2 of their informants were arrested. So the senior special assistant, or advisor rather, to the security matters in charge of the local government area, Honorable Abdulkarim Ohiari, and his Adavi counterpart, Honorable Joseph Omuya Salami, had led the hunters to the hideout of the kidnappers following intelligence reports. So we look forward to the government doing much more to contain the level of attacks going on along the Okene-Lokoja highway. Then we still noted that many Nigerians have expressed outrage as gunmen suspected to be Fulani militia guys, that's militia men, have launched fresh attacks on southern Kaduna communities despite the 24-hour curfew imposed by the Kaduna state government. This was as the umbrella body of Southern Kaduna People's Union on Saturday said 63 people had been killed in the past 1 week by the militiamen. So we expect more from the Kaduna state government in curbing these attacks. A lot more needs to be done to curb the recent rise in the number of cases we've been hearing, different attacks going on right now in southern Kaduna. So much more needs to be done by the state government to contain these attacks. Then the Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje has said the challenges posed by the COVID-19 should not be allowed to be an obstacle to the development and plans of his administration in the state. And he also counseled other states to toe the same line. He spoke during the visit to projects that were during his site visits to project areas within Kano metropolis. Also, he advised the government at all levels, stating that Kano State, just like other states in the Federation, are faced with the challenges posed by COVID-19. And in accordance to him, he said these factors should not be allowed to be a stumbling block between government and the people's development. So this is a good one coming from the Kano State Governor. Then we also have that evacuation of stranded Nigerians has continued from different parts of the world. Right now, we noted that about 35 Nigerians have arrived from France, and that was just yesterday at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. So much more is being done to see to the evacuation of Nigerians who are stranded in different parts of the world. Then the federal government and the state government representatives in the education sector have scheduled a meeting for next week, Monday, August 3rd, to discuss modalities for schools resumption across the country. So we say this is a good one, and we think that the federal government should get more involved in the quest to tackle the education challenge. And even the Minister of State for Education in Mekawan Juba, who has been trying to work out a workable plan, just like they indicated on Friday, that the students who were supposed to participate in the West African Senior School Certificate examinations are now to go for GCE, that's the General Certificate examinations that should take place in the month of November, and the results should be out in the month of December. So we believe that much more should be done to tackle these issues in the education sector. So both representatives from the federal government and the state government will be having a call meeting in this regard coming Monday, that's August 3rd. All right, a quick one before we move on, that the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, has listed senators and different House of Representatives members who benefited from the NDDC contracts that he mentioned. So the list was contained in a letter he sent to the National Assembly, and the National Youth Council of Nigeria presented a document to the media on Sunday. That was yesterday. So according to the letter, Akpabio listed the different senators who have benefited from the contract, and the letter by Akpabio was addressed to the Speaker of the House, that's Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who had threatened to drag Akpabio before the court if he does not name the lawmakers that had benefited from the NDDC contract. He also copied the Speaker of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, in the letter, and also the Attorney General of the Federation. So we think that much more should be done to unravel the ongoing investigation that is still on. And even though the presidency has taken charge of the NDDC, that's the Niger Delta Development Commission, much more should be done to tackle the issues of corruption that has enmeshed that agency, and also to see to it that areas where people went off board, they are guilty of different offenses. Like we stated on Friday, there should be consequence for wrongdoing, and that is very key, very, very key, consequence for wrongdoing. All right, so this morning, in line with what we are talking about in our anti-corruption drive, but just beyond the corruption, we're also talking about different issues that have to do with how Nigeria can be better and how we as a nation can improve on every side. We are talking about promoting the anti-corruption fight in Nigeria and other societal devices that we can look into and see how to tackle. So we'll give you some background information this morning, then we'll expect you to send in your comments, your opinion, and let's look at some of these areas together. The Blossom Nigeria group has come up with a project called Project 1 Million Voices, and it's a means for us to be able to work on advocating for more areas where we can promote the positive agenda for Nigeria. And in doing that, more and more people need to stand up to speak against different vices that are currently affecting the nation on different areas. So how are we going to achieve this, and what are we going to do to ensure that our country does not keep going down in the negative slide, but come up and, like we mentioned at the beginning of this program, moving forward in the right direction? These are the things we are looking at, because we can't just fold our hands and watch and allow some of these negative strides to keep dragging the nation down. So what we'll do is that, as we are giving us this background information, ensure you are fully participating, and you can also send in your comments and your contributions. So we say that corruption and other societal vices occasioned by greed and selfishness have become major impediments to growth and development in Nigeria. The recent revelation of the pervasive corruption in government sectors is terribly worrisome and unfortunate. It's not what we should give attention to in that sense. So in response to this national issue, the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, Ignatius Kaigama, has condemned and described the recent massive fraud by officials of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, and the Northeast Development Commission, NEDC, which has forced the National Assembly to commence audit of these establishments. So the question is, what else should be done to rise above these challenges and bring more progress and development to the Nigerian society? So these and more are the areas we need to look at in today's edition. So in response to these societal challenges, Blossom Nigeria, like I said earlier, has come up with several nation building initiatives, and one of it is a project 1 Million Voices, aimed at promoting the right mindset through advocacy that will give rise to more patriotism and service to fatherland. Because we believe that if people have the right mindset of service to fatherland, they won't want to siphon money for things that don't amount to anything. They'll be thinking of how to serve the land, how to improve on the society, how to impact on people's lives positively. So these are things and areas we'll be looking at, and for them to achieve this, they have to be patriotic, and they need that patriotic mindset to aid them in contributing, rendering their service, sacrificially and in different areas, and they will do excellently well if they only have this mindset, but not the mindset of come and steal, come and take and go. No, we don't want that. So we are using the project 1 Million Voices to promote the right mindset through advocacy. So when we talk about advocacy, we are referring to everyone contributing. We can have if we have 1 million people together who have maybe between 10 to 100 people within their contacts that they can send messages to and give them the information coming from the same body. We believe that, let's assume each person can reach out to 10 people. That's at least 10 million people that have been affected positively. And even if it's 100 people per person, that is 100 million people from 1 million voices. So these are things that we can do together. And even though you may not have to maybe carry placard every day on the street, but at least your voice is being heard through your own contribution, as you invite others, as you share the vision with others, as you talk with others, through the different messages that can be emanating from us. So these are things that we can do together to promote patriotism and improve on service to fatherland. And in line with these objectives, just to mention, like in reference to the Catholic Bishop of Abuja, Ignatius Kaigama, he rightly said that all hope is not lost, given the stories of brave and honest Nigerians who in their endeavors are still doing the country proud. So he made mention, he cited the recent appointment of Professor Charles Egbu as a Vice Chancellor of a UK university. That's a good one. Ikenaweke in Japan, who returned a missing wallet with huge sums of money to the police and turned down an offer of a percentage of the money. That's a very, very exceptional one coming from a Nigerian. And the heroism that we have seen displayed in the military from different military personnel and different people in different areas. So the cleric who drew his message from biblical readings has urged Nigerians to be very ready to make the necessary sacrifice to build a country where peace and justice reigns. So while we are working on all of this, we note that these are things and areas where, like we said earlier, every one of us has a role to play. So if we know that the sacrificial lifestyle is what we should be, because like one of our callers mentioned on Friday that for Gospel Akpabio, that for instance, if he's found guilty, that she will be surprised, because how many houses can he live in, or how many places can he sleep in a day, how many cars can he ride in a day? So at the end of it all, when a man dies, he doesn't leave anything or take anything from this world. He leaves everything behind. So the mindset of service is what Nigerians should start inculcating. And when we talk about inculcating this mindset of service, it's not just talking about just paying lip service to some of these things. These are real actions, and that is why in Blossom Nigeria, through our programs like Dialogue Box, we are talking about areas where we think the society can be improved upon, how and different means through which we can contribute our means, our quota, to proffering solutions, so improving the society. So now the question is, if we are to do all of this, and all of these are going on within us, so Project 1 Million Voices will now become a means of even speeding up our work, both on social media and outside there. Everybody can be a part of it. We also noted that the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, they've also sent the Freedom of Information Bill request to the Senate President, Dr. Ahmed Lawan, and Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, to urgently publish all reports of completed public hearings and corruption probes by the National the return to democracy in 1999. So it also asked the National Assembly to sponsor a resolution to stop lawmakers from directly getting involved in the execution of projects by ministries, departments, and agencies, MDAs, to ensure the proper and effective exercise of oversight functions, including the investigation of corruption allegations such as those involving the NDDC and the NSITF, as we are talking about now. So what more can be done? How else? Because now if we are to work with the plans that we have already listed out, Project 1 Million Voices should start with immediate effect, and every one of us can contribute to it. So you can do your contribute your quota, I can contribute my quota, and we all can work together to form a better Nigeria. And wherever you are, you can also send in your comment. You can call us on 090-5252-5107, so that areas where you think you have some suggestions for us, you can make them and we'll look at them together. All right, we'll take some comments here. We have it that all right, some people who are watching, then good morning. This is coming from Coco. The only way to fight corruption is for Nigerians to have a change of mind. That's a change of mindset, and this begins with us. That's rightly stated by Coco, who is saying that the basic way to achieve the fight, achieve the fight against corruption is for Nigerians to have a change of mindset. Like we said earlier, patriotism. Because when you are patriotic and you have the right mindset to serve, you won't want to go into just stealing and siphoning money unnecessarily. There's no need for it, because you know that what you are living for is for the good of others. So there will be no need for it. So that's a very, very key point. And we also have Project 1 Million Voices, as we have talked about, advocating for a better Nigeria. Then we also have Savior Unduka, who says, Okay, is this Coco so to say? Corruption was enshrined in Nigeria from top down. There is unmanageable corruption because those at the very top abuses our law and render them ineffective. Now tell me, just a second. Just a second. Now tell me how we can get all the families in Nigeria to abandon corruption when our laws are very flawed in its implementation, whereas a single determined president can pick out very few hands among the Nigerian laws and work with them to make our laws effective, and with that, corruption will be reduced. People are generally born to be selfish and like cutting corners. So it is only because of the law that people from other climes seem to be better than us. So our problem is not necessarily corruption, so to say, but a leadership that refuses to do its work. So our task is to have right leaders, to use our best as leaders and not common criminals in power. So coming from Savior Unduka, this is a very key point, that as a nation, the problem is the tendency to selfishness, the wrong mindset that everyone has a kind of they now have based on what they've been exposed to in government. But even with this, we have stated earlier that it doesn't mean that we cannot effect a change, and it doesn't mean that it is all over for Nigeria. No, we all have a role to play, and we can still get things to be on the right path, and everybody can do it if we all make up our minds. Don't just say Nigeria, our own is finished, there's no way we can maybe bring ourselves to a path of honor or integrity. No, we can. If we make up our minds, we can, and we will. We believe so, and that is why we have Project 1 Million Voices now. You can visit it on our Facebook page. More information will be given to each and every one of us. And you can also, on our BlossomNigeria page, as we're talking about dialogue box with different issues we're addressing on a daily basis. For Project 1 Million Voices, we can give us areas we can spread out, maybe information we can spread to everyone in our contact list, so, or people that we believe we can rightly impact in our contact list. So these are the kind of information we'll be giving out on a regular basis. For today, for instance, we can say, okay, from Project 1 Million Voices, we will say something that has to do with corruption and how everybody can be a part of it. And the more we advocate for things like this, against rape, against armed robbery, against kidnappings, against different forms of banditry and security challenges, name it, different societal vices, the more we advocate for this, and the more we stand up to rise up against some of these vices, we believe that there can be a change. And just like we have been noting, the right mindset, we need to promote the right mindset. Very, very key. Then we also have it from Yeshua Iben. He says, good morning. Truly, Nigeria's biggest problem is not corruption, but lawlessness. The only way we can tackle corruption is by enforcing the rule of law. So he says, impose a death penalty, public execution to those guilty of corruption, kill those guilty immediately without delay. All right, so this is coming from Yeshua Iben, that there should be a death penalty for those who are guilty of corruption, and they should be killed with immediate effect without delay. We know that this is an angry man that is talking, but even then, we should allow the law to take its full course. All right, so sorry for that break in transmission. So that was a little technical issue. So we're saying that every one of us, we might be angry, like what Yeshua Iben said, immediate execution of those who are found guilty. But what we can say at this point is that the judiciary should be strengthened, and the judiciary should carry out its full course, and every judgment that has been released by the judiciary should be fully carried out by the government. And like we have been advocating, there should be consequence for wrongdoing. Even if it is not death penalty with immediate effect, there should be consequence for wrongdoing. And with that, it will be an example for others to follow. So we like everyone at this point to note that for Nigeria, it is not over. All hope is not lost. And just like what the Reverend Father Ignatius Kaigama has rightly noted, that even with all the negative things happening, some positive strides are still going on, like some of the references he made. So we have a work to do, and that work is every one of us stand up to the right thing, advocate for the right things, and as we do this, we can also get more people to join us. And that is the essence of Project 1 Million Voices, advocating for a better Nigeria. And with all of this, we also say no to corruption. And we believe that the more we work towards this, and with dialogue box and all that we are doing, you can visit our page on Facebook.